Caught my boyfriend cheating and he's sitting next to me. I don't know if I should say anything. I, 35F, accidentally found a text thread on my BF's 34M phone tonight, and I'm completely devastated. Here's the backstory. A little over a year ago, my ex-husband shattered my world by asking for a divorce. I was hurt and devastated, and I wasn't looking for anything serious, just a distraction and someone to talk to. That's when I met this guy online, and we hit it off quickly. Fast forward, and here I am, still with him, giving him my all. We've been together in what I thought was a committed relationship for the past year. We've had our share of issues, but I've fallen in love with him. I really thought he loved me too, but I've always had this nagging feeling that something was off. Tonight, while using his phone, with his permission, to do some research, I accidentally stumbled across a text thread between him and another woman. The messages go back months. He's been talking to her the entire time we've been together, telling her about our date nights, but leaving out the fact that he was with me. His supposed girlfriend. He's sent her pictures, calls her by the same pet names he uses with me, and talks to her all day and night. I've been begging him for months to communicate with me more, to compliment me, and to just make an effort. Meanwhile, he's been doing all of that with her. He's asked her to come over for spicy sleepovers, while I've been begging just to spend time with him. I feel like a complete fool. Like I'm just another girl on his roster. I'm heartbroken and sick to my stomach. I've never been cheated on before, and this pain is unbearable. What makes this even worse is that he's sitting right next to me as I'm typing this, and I'm trying to keep my composure. I'm so torn because I feel guilty for going through his phone, which is an invasion of privacy, but at the same time, he's been cheating on me for months. The only reason he's even here tonight is because I promised to help him with something big tomorrow. I'm such a people pleaser that part of me still wants to help him, but why should I care after what I've just found? He swore just a few hours ago that I'm the only one. He told me he's not like that anymore, even though he has a history of being a player from over 10 years ago before I knew him. But now, I've found this whole other relationship in his phone. I'm so mad at myself for not catching the red flags sooner. I've spent money, not just a few dollars, time and effort. I've included his kids in things, introduced him to my family, given him a key to my house, and shared my location with him at all times. I've been committed since day one, and all along, he's been playing me. I don't even know what I'm looking for by posting this. I guess I just need to vent because I can't tell anyone in my life about this yet. I'm in shock, and I don't know if I should confront him, keep quiet, or plot my revenge. My heart is completely shattered, and I'm lost in this mess of emotions. Sorry for the long post. I'm ranting, venting, and all over the place with my feelings. Relevant comments. Comfortable. Junket440. You have invested time and energy into this relationship, so why would you invest more by plotting revenge? All that will do is give him more power over you because you will be showing him just how much it hurts you. Reality check. He does not care. I'm not saying that to twist the knife. I'm trying to wake you up. People pleasing is another way of saying you are codependent. It can stem from dysfunctional family dynamics, childhood trauma, substance abuse, and parental relationships. It affects a person's ability to form healthy relationships and can lead to relationships that are one-sided, emotionally destructive, or abusive. People with codependency may have a strong need for others to approve of them and may fear being abandoned. They may also try to control others and become angry and resentful over time. You need to leave now. And you need to seek some help. Many local churches have Celebrate Recovery. You don't have to be a Christian to go, and they always have codependency groups. There are some excellent books on the subject I can recommend as well. If you can afford it or have insurance, I would strongly recommend seeking counseling. I am sorry that you're going through this. You deserve so much more than what you're permitting for yourself. When you're in a healthy relationship, you don't have to guess if someone loves you. They don't have to explain that they aren't a player anymore, especially a year into the relationship. You don't have to beg for attention or affection. Sure, rough patches happen, but when someone truly loves you and you express that there's a disconnect, they move mountains to make it right, just like you would for them. Love is a verb, and what you have been experiencing is not love. It's a projection of your heart's desire, but it isn't a reality. You will find it, but to do so, you have to leave and find true healing for your own heart and soul first. I truly wish you the best and will be here to help you in any way I can. You are loved and you are not alone, but you need to discover that away from this sorry excuse of a man. OP, I know I have some problems with codependency. My ex-husband, while he was never a cheater, was a narcissist and didn't treat me the best, so I was trauma-bound for a while. I am in therapy for it. Commercial_koala 7777. I'm so sorry for you, OP. If it were me, I'd be done immediately. But since he's right there with you, maybe try to calm down and go ahead with the stuff already planned. Think about how you can maybe pack his stuff up out of your place. I don't know how much he has there. And put it in your car or in front of your house. Call him with the excuse that you left your key inside and need his copy. When he comes, take your key, give him his stuff, and tell him not to come back or contact you. Cartographer. Many4217. Leave him. Say you don't feel well and go home. Do not help him. Call or text him that you know he's cheating, say you're done, and ask for your stuff to be dropped off. Given the fact that you've given him a year after your marriage only ended a little over a year ago, please take a pause from dating and get some therapy. You said you've given your all to this relationship after your dedicated marriage. You need to know yourself before you become a partner again. I saw someone else recommend a group, but I hope you find your own help first. Then, maybe do group therapy after you've made some first steps. Good luck on your next chapter. Story 2. My ex ruined our relationship and is continuing to pop up in my life. Firstly, I've really struggled to write this all down. Our friendship groups are so heavily intertwined, and so many people are involved now. I didn't even know where to start. So much has happened, and I'm doing a lot of work on myself after all of this. I, F26, started talking to my ex, J, M23, in February. We were in the same extended friendship group, and I was really worried about dating within the group. I already had an ex in the group, C, who I had dated 5 years ago before he met my friends through work in a small town, 2 years after we split. He had no idea they were my friends until about a year before a wedding we both attended. We're now on good terms after a lot of work, following a messy split where C cheated on me with his ex at a festival. We don't hang out or go for coffee, but we do chat and get along if we're both on a night out. From the offset, Jay pursued me and messaged me. Initially, I thought he was gay, but it turned out he wasn't. I finally agreed to a date after our mutual best friend, M, F23, pushed both of us to pursue our developing feelings. We had an amazing first date and talked all evening. We went on more dates, and the topic of intimacy started coming up more. I made it clear that I don't sleep with someone until a romantic connection is really established due to past trauma, which made it hard for me to connect after intimacy. He really understood and made me feel completely safe and relaxed with him about it. Our biggest disagreement was arguing over condiments and which ones are the best. He eats his fries dry, and that is truly abhorrent to me. As stupid as it was, it made me laugh. And it felt like dating my best friend because he was already my friend beforehand. When things started to progress, we finally slept together, and it was great. I didn't feel sick having him in my bed, and he was the first man to stay in my bed since my last boyfriend, who caused all my trauma. I told him everything, in more detail than I had with any of my friends, and he'd been so understanding and supportive about my issues and the commitment problems I'd faced after the severe trauma I experienced. We started planning further in advance for things. In May, we had 2 big date nights planned. One was a work event for him, and the other was an event with friends. My birthday was a few weeks before these events, at the beginning of May, and I'd asked if he wanted to join me and my friends for the day. I made it clear there was no pressure for him to come, but I thought he'd enjoy it since a lot of our mutual friends were coming, along with a couple of my friends from uni and childhood. He didn't even hesitate when he said yes. On our next date, he started making Christmas plans for me to spend time with his family. I ended up having a minor panic attack at planning so far ahead. It was mid-April at this point, and he stopped immediately once I said I wasn't ready to talk that far in advance. We'd agreed not to sleep with other people after the first time we were intimate, as we were both serious about our developing relationship, or so I thought. My birthday came and we had an amazing time, despite the little things that irritated me. He was over an hour late. The boys had gone to the pub while I went to brunch with the girls, and they all ended up trashed and incredibly late. After a few stern words, they eventually showed up. I had a bit of a wobble about being the center of attention, but Jay took me aside and talked me down from the incoming panic. We rejoined my friends at the pub, and he pulled me aside to talk about our future. He asked me to be his girlfriend, but I told him I wasn't quite ready for a label. We then agreed to complete exclusivity, basically committed without the official label according to Jay. After this, he spent the night chatting with my friends and told our married friends that he was serious about me and wanted to take care of me, something they relayed to me the next day out of happiness and excitement. All of my friends loved him and were so happy for us. He stayed the night, a routine that was becoming more common, and I loved spending time with him. My work colleagues were rooting for us too, as I'd been single for 3.5 years with little luck in dating. I was completely smitten with him and saw myself falling head over heels in love. During our evenings, we'd talk about our days, and he often expressed frustration with his friends. Some of his opinions were questionable, to say the least, and offensive at times. I called him out for the most part, but I'm ashamed to say I didn't make it clear enough that he shouldn't have said some of these things at all. He was going out of the country to a festival with the boys and M a few days after my birthday. I had no issues with this until M asked me how I was so chill with the situation. I trusted him completely until M mentioned my chill, which made me suspicious. When I asked for more details, she explained that his long-term bad blood ex, L, F23, and his ex-fling B, F24, were also going. He'd completely omitted this, but I didn't mention it to him. I started to get even more suspicious. During the week he was away, we went from speaking every day to no contact at all. I assumed he had no data, but he was viewing all my social media posts within 10 minutes of posting. I knew something was up, but I had no evidence. When they got back, I still heard nothing. M came over for dinner and proudly announced that nothing had happened while they were away. I didn't believe her. I knew something had happened, but I still had no proof. Finally, after a drink, I asked to speak to Jay. He called me, and I told him I knew everything, giving him the chance to tell me the truth. This was the biggest bluff of my life. He immediately confessed to sleeping with Elle while they were away, and even said, "I thought about you the whole time." Within 5 days of my birthday, he had cheated on me. He didn't even apologize, not even the typical, "I'm sorry I hurt your feelings" apology. After some insults hurled from my end, I ended it. I didn't cry until after the call ended. M was devastated. M had shared a hotel room with Elle and had lied about the night she'd spent with Jay. We had no idea if Elle knew about me, but she lived with one of Jay's friends, so we assumed she did, as Jay had told this friend about us. M stayed with me that night, and we called our married friends to let them know what had happened. I told them I wanted to stay away from Jay, but didn't want them to feel like they had to choose between us. Surprisingly, they all cut him off, saying they were appalled by his actions. Em and I spoke about it nonstop so I could piece my feelings together. He had made it clear during our breakup that the cheating was premeditated, and I couldn't understand why I deserved it. I'm not perfect, but I didn't think I deserved this. In the weeks that followed, I was encouraged to confront Elle for her part in it. I reached out to B, whom I knew through Jay, and she had heard through the grapevine what had happened. B and I met for brunch, and she just asked me what happened. I told her everything. B informed me that Elle had no idea about me, and I was so glad I hadn't confronted her. I had spoken badly about Elle behind her back, so I contacted her that night to apologize. She responded immediately, apologizing for the part she played and asking to meet up. Within a week, Elle and I went for dinner and drinks. She told me everything about that night, including the fact that Jay wasn't as intoxicated as he'd made out. He had used her grief over losing a parent to get close to her. He had done something similar to her when they dated the first time around. She explained that he had been telling her I was controlling, which is why he cheated. I had one burning question. After the breakup, I unpaused my dating apps and someone liked me using my late partner's name and photos of us from before he passed away. I was shaken to my core. Married friends thought Jay was behind the fake profile. I wasn't sure, but they were almost certain. I asked Elle if she thought he was capable of this, and she informed me something similar had happened after their breakup. This confirmed for her that Jay had done the same thing to her. I was devastated, but it ended up being a rather lovely evening where I felt more connected to my body. Elle and I are actually good friends now. Elle confronted Jay about his behavior, B cut him off, and we now hang out regularly. Jay tried to claim that we weren't together, so it wasn't cheating, but those who knew the truth knew. I just wanted to heal and move on. Recently, Jay was called out by Elle's housemate, who was angry at him for his conduct and told him so. Jay got upset and started sending out apologies. He sent one to M saying he was scared and had been doing loads of personal growth. He sent one to Elle apologizing for how he treated her. I, however, have yet to receive an apology. My married friends want apologies too, especially for how he lied on my birthday. While an apology wouldn't have changed anything for me, it might have given me closure. I don't really know why I'm sharing this, but I needed to get it out. It's been months of working on my self-worth and connecting with my friends. Time and friends are truly the best healers. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed our stories and would like to hear more, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you captivating tales and new content every week. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We appreciate every one of you for being a part of our storytelling journey.